Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick look again at AVAX, double checking a few key factors here today. We've seen this nice little recovery. Of course, we got this type of lower low, lower high pattern. Obviously, most coins are exuding that behavior right now, but generally speaking, AVAX has recovered better than most coins here today, and honestly didn't drop super hard, just dipped just below that 0.618 fib level. We're going to talk about that and kind of see where we're at. Looks like this potential for double bottom did not occur, and we want to see if there's any consideration for a long or a short at this point, right? So if you're new to the channel, I just want to say thanks again for watching. If you've been watching for a while, even more thank you for always hitting the like button, commenting below, or just in general being an amazing part of my life. I really appreciate you. So what we want to look at here is liquidation levels first, kind of see where we're at, kind of go from there, because all the short-term liquidation the last 7 days has been swept. We've known that for a while. Most coins are finding those lower levels have been totally taken care of. But we do want to just acknowledge and understand that as low as $19 to $20 is a really heavy concentration of liquidation. We got a little bit more liquidation left, down as low as about $22. And there's a possibility of further downside here. So don't get too blind with the long positions. We're wanting to look for higher highs and higher lows on smaller time frames to identify any type of shift in momentum. I think it's too early to tell, but we're going to double check that anyways. So if you are curious about a long versus a short, I'd maybe recommend watching all the way through just to be on the safe side, so we do our due diligence. Because when you do look at moving averages and RSIs and different things of that sort, a lot of them behave differently. And coins like this here with AVAX, I mean, it had a monumental uprising, but now it's really pulling back. But the truth is, it's bottoming out here so far at 0.618, that $23 mark. And that's a good sign, okay? And we can kind of see here the overall sentiment based on lower liquidation levels having been swept. This 0.618 fib level is holding pretty strong. Again, it was also a local high here too, so we can kind of see this range here at about 22.75 to 23 as that potential area of support. Again, today's candlestick hasn't closed yet, but that's generally a good sign. This is a good looking doji candle. We can see here, of course, as well, when we're looking at the price action, we're still under 50 on the RSI, so still haven't broken bullish. I mean, it's probably going to be a little while before we're going to be able to say that confidently with most coins, but we can see the RSI and money flow index kind of looking pretty good there in the overall sense. We got MACD is trying to diverge, but it hasn't fully diverged yet. We could see an MACD FU as potential bounce, but a lot of that hinges on Bitcoin and how much further up or down Bitcoin wants to go. It's really being a pain in the butt in a lot of ways because it came down to 57.5, swept half that liquidation, come right back up to that 60K mark again, or potentially 60K. It's really hard to say what's going to happen with Bitcoin. I mean, you really think for a moment you got it figured out, and then instantly it all hits the reset button. The key takeaway here is that Bitcoin is still bearish, right? And we got to presume most coins, like altcoins like this, are going to be bearish as well. And here's a bearish sign too, just to give you clarification. We can see this this sign here, basically the 20-day SMA on the 4-hour, being underneath that is generally construed as a bearish sign. Okay, so being back up above it, we can see probably much better results. If you look at when the price broke above it, it did pretty good stuff, right? And ever since it broke below, it's gone down, right? It's not exact science, but it's really like the first thing you want to look for to identify if you are potentially going to be shifting momentum. So I'm going to be looking for a break above the 20-day SMA, specifically in the 4-hour time frame for AVAX, to see if it's worth taking a long position. At this point, though, we look at a local point of control. It's closer to $21. So even though there's further downside potential, it makes sense that Bitcoin, AVAX is doing what it's doing right now, because it's just one of those things where it's performing kind of standard, that standard knee-jerk reaction to the rest of the market. Anyways, the whole point of this 4-hour time frame is to clarify that we are looking fairly bearish on the moving average front. All moving averages are right there at the current price point at 23.20. Again, a closure today at 24 or higher would be pretty substantial. That would be a potential consideration for a long at that point. I know it seems weird to want to take a long when the price is higher, but we don't know if it's going to go any higher. We got to get through those resistances before we consider a trade in that direction. Lately, there's been a lot of false positives too, where the price breaks out and it's like a false breakout. So again, a lot of times that's why waiting for confirmation can be helpful, but there's also a lot of missed opportunities there too. It's a catch-22. The market is a strange one right now. Okay, we're under 50 on the RSI, generally bearish. Money flow index is low. We can see MACD is trying to converge, but hasn't yet. So a lot of things that are looking good. We got a bullish engulfing candle here so far on the 4-hour. But again, we got another hour left to see if that's going to work out. If we do see that close above, there's a solid chance we could see the price continue higher. But a lot of it hinges on Bitcoin too, because it's also performing very similar. Okay, there's not too much different here in that regard. The hourly is probably going to be a little different though. You got to recognize here that we are under the cloud, lagging spans not free and clear, and the conversion lines below the baseline. These are all signs that are just truly still bearish. So again, a closure at 24 or higher is what I'm really going to be looking for. If you see here, we got our 0.5 fib level, we've got our ascending trend line we can get back up over, but more importantly, we'd have swept that fair value gap and we'd be over that Ichimoku cloud, and that'd be a positive consideration. So again, just be mindful this weekend. We could very well see some more red just based on the overall market and how the market's performing, based on the simple fact that it's a holiday weekend, and a lot of times we'll see red on the weekends leading into the holiday, which generally fall on Mondays. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at there. Anyways, just a heads up, this is neither good nor bad. This just is what it is. Okay, I'm going to post our playout chart on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I'll update our fib levels here, make sure everything's all up to par there, and just future reference, looks a little something like this. There's other scammers, unfortunately, that might be impersonating me, but this is essentially what my channel should look like. Okay, make sure you know that. Thanks again so much again for your support and your awesome feedback. Don't forget to hit the like button. We'll see you the next one. Have a great rest of your day.